Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Superstar 27 TD running back sends strong message on joining Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have no shortage of needs to address this offseason, even while rumors swirl about potential head coaching candidates. Even if the Cowboys move on from head coach Mike McCarthy, Dallas is going to need to bolster multiple positions on the roster, including running back. Boise State star Ashton Jani is projected to be the top running back selected in the 2025 NFL Draft. Jani is already making his case to be selected by the Cowboys. "If I could script it, my family is all in Texas," Jani explained on the November 12, 2024, edition of Kickin' It with D. "I used to play in the Cowboys practice stadium. So, family being there, all the connections, all the relationships, I feel like that would just be the perfect city to play in. Hey, Jerry Jones, you know what to do." The Cowboys have relied on a rotation of Rico Dowdle, Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook with mostly underwhelming results. Heading into Week 11, the Cowboys were averaging just 83.7 rushing yards per game, which is the second lowest among NFL teams. Dallas opted to pass on taking a running back in the 2024 NFL Draft, but will get a do-over in April. Jani is putting up video game numbers this season at Boise State, which has put the playmaker among the top Heisman Trophy contenders. Through the first 12 weeks of the college football season, Jani has 256 carries for 1,893 yards and 26 touchdowns. Jani has also added 17 catches for 98 receiving yards and a TD through the air. If the Cowboys want to land Jani, it will likely need to be with the team's first-round pick. Athlon Sports' Luke Easterling has the Cowboys selecting Jani with the number 11 pick in his latest mock draft. Jerry Jones made the mistake of ignoring the running back position this past offseason, and his team is paying the price with an unbalanced offense that puts way too much pressure on a lackluster passing game, Easterling wrote on November 14. "This is early for a running back, but Jani is the kind of prospect who is worthy of this spot. He's a three-down back who excels at creating extra yards and big plays after contact." For context, Easterling has Jani as the only running back being selected in the first round. Yet, it looks like Dallas would need to snag Jani early in order to have a chance at landing the Boise State playmaker. This would mark the earliest the Cowboys have selected a running back since taking Ezekiel Elliott with the number 4 pick in the 2016 NFL Draft. As for Elliott, the star's return to Dallas after one season with the New England Patriots has not gone as planned. Elliott is averaging a career-low 3.2 yards per carry this season. Even if the Cowboys pass on Jani, Dallas will likely be in the running back market with one of their Day 2 selections. NFL Week 11, Texans at Cowboys, 4 things to watch for. The Houston Texans season has evolved into quite the conundrum over these last 4 weeks, as on the one hand, they've lost 3 out of 4 games and begun to see fan confidence in DeMeco Ryans and the team, at the very least, flutter a bit. On the other hand, their one win in that time frame was over the Colts, giving them a 2-game lead in the division and a 94% chance of making the playoffs. In short, this is a team who is a lock to make the playoffs, less than 2 years removed from being one of the complete laughingstocks of the NFL. Yet, indeed, some people are very upset. They're upset at losing to the Jets a couple weeks ago, upset at blowing a huge lead to the Lions on national TV, and upset that C.J. Stroud is on track to die from blunt force trauma, due to inept defensive line play, by week 15. So what's the perfect elixir for all of the mixed emotions? How about beating the ever-loving dog crap out of the Dallas Cowboys? On national TV, no less. That's the opportunity in front of the Texans right now, as they face a downtrodden and dysfunctional Dallas team that sits at 3-6 and will be missing QB Dak Prescott, who is done for the season with a hamstring injury. The Texans are 7.5-point favorites on the road, which is just crazy to even type. Here are 4 things to watch for on Monday night in this matchup. It will be backup QB Cooper Rush under center for the Cowboys. Last week at home, versus Philadelphia, Rush was pitiful, throwing for just 66 yards, but as a starter in Dallas, when he's been needed, his record is a stellar 5-2. The Texans have had one of the best pass rushes in football all season long. Even without Will Anderson last week, and Anderson is expected to miss Monday's game, against Detroit, the Texans put constant heat on Jared Goff, forcing a very uncharacteristic 50% completion percentage. In two other games this season, against Buffalo and Indianapolis, the Texans have forced completion percentages in the low 30s. We have every reason to believe that life for Rush will be miserable on Monday night. There are only two players on the Cowboys who can go win this game for them, and CeeDee Lamb is one of them. We'll discuss the other in a moment. The fifth-year wide receiver is one of the supreme playmakers in the league, but he has no help in the offensive weapons department. Last week, against Philly, Lamb had 6 catches for a paltry 21-yard total. Whether it's putting Derek Stingley on Lamb or bracketing Lamb with double coverage, the Texans know that he is the head of the snake, and if they take him away, it's going to be a long night for the Cowboys. The Texans have had issues scoring in the second half this season, we know that. It's been over a month since they scored a second-half touchdown. That has to get fixed, or the season will be over after the first playoff game. On Monday night, though, whether it's the first half or second half, the Texans need to cash in on their red zone opportunities, getting 7 points instead of 3, particularly early in the game to put added heat on the Cowboys' woeful offense. The Cowboys' defense is last in the league in red zone defense this season, so this should be a good get-well night for C.J. Stroud. Also, getting a healthy Nico Collins back should help. Yes, that's the one other dude who can wreck this game for the Dallas Cowboys, defensive end/linebacker/everything Micah Parsons. Parsons has been injured with a high ankle sprain for most of the season, but returned last week, and had 2 sacks versus the Eagles. DC Mike Zimmer will move Parsons all over the place to get him into favorable matchups. We all know how poorly the Texans have protected Stroud this season. They cannot allow Parsons to cause turnovers that create short fields for this Cowboys offense, and get the crowd into the game. Cowboy fans have quit on this team, so don't give them a reason to reverse their quitting stance. Dallas Cowboys are predicted to land an amazing college coach to replace Mike McCarthy. Dallas Cowboys fans cannot wait to close the book on the 2024 season after their horrible 3-6 record to start the year, and many of them are waiting for Jerry Jones to fire head coach Mike McCarthy. There were many rumors last offseason that McCarthy would be fired after their brutal home playoff loss to the Green Bay Packers in the wildcard round, but the organization decided to give him one more season. The college-to-pros coaching pipeline has slowed a bit, save Jim Harbaugh. But a name that a few people around the league have brought up to me in recent weeks, Oregon's Dan Lanning. Lanning is an upcoming coach in the sport and is only in his 3rd season as the head coach at Oregon. He is building a winning culture, so there is a great chance he will stay with the Ducks, but if he doesn't, the Cowboys could be the team that lands him. Scott Barrett from Fantasy Points posted his 2025 NFL head coaching hiring predictions on X and has the Cowboys landing Lanning. Just guessing: Giants, HC Bill Belichick Bears, HC Todd Monken Jets, HC Mike Vrabel Saints, HC Steve Spagnuolo Raiders, HC Vic Fangio Jaguars, HC Ben Johnson Cowboys, HC Dan Lanning. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Dan Lanning? Leave your opinion in the comments.